What's up, you legends? What's going on, guys? All right, good morning. How the heck are you today, guys? A lot of stuff happening in the news right off the hop today. Very interesting. Trump making moves, trying to crash markets again. Is that what's going to happen? Is that going to happen? I think I worded that weird. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's dive right in. As we see, we've had two green daily candles in a row. We're currently sitting in a green daily candle. But you know, like I said before, with what Trump's trying to do now, maybe he's crashing markets again. We'll find out, right? A lot of negativity I'm seeing so far this morning around it about markets crashing, but so far they have not crashed. So we'll see what happens. But you know, currently still above $90,000. What we want to see, guys, is we want to see a weekly close above $90,000. If we can get that weekly close above there, could be more upside, guys. Could be more upside to come here up to that $100,000 level. Fill the CME gap up here around that $96,000 level. But for me, worst case scenario, we want to stay above the 30-day moving average, which currently resides at 88,771. So that's what we want to see us stay above on the daily time frame. But we want to close above 90,000 if we want to see more continuation to the upside. So yeah. Anyhow, let's get into the chat a little bit, see what's going on. We have 0 super chats to start the stream, so let's get into it here. Rodney, don't forget, for the past year, it seems like there's a lot of crypto crashes every week. Yeah, but you know what? Nothing lasts forever, brother. Nothing lasts forever, even trends, right? Eventually they break. Passenger, what's up, man? Rob, the best. The Passenger reporting 2026 will make you think the retail that pumps are traps. And once they replace, it's not a trap. They will FOMO. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They'll come back in when the candles are green, and then they'll be dumped on again. Derek says, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my guy, my dude. Another local. What's happening? Stick to the plan. It's all clearly laid out in the Patreon. Absolutely it is. Join the VIP community today, guys. Angelo. So what did we miss? Well, we're going to get into it, man. Quentin, my guy, I see you, brother. What's happening, man? Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. We got 61 people here. We have 16 likes. Guys, let's get those likes up. First goal, let's get 100, right? Jay Dorn, what's happening, man? Joining the Patreon was the best financial decision I made in 2025. 2026 is going to be awesome. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother. Great one-on-one yesterday, guys. Take advice from Joe Dorn. Get over to the Patreon community today, guys. Carl, salute. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Angelo says bull market for altcoins will be postponed till 2027. Who said that? Who said that? DM8 says, just joined the Patreon a month ago, learning a ton from you and everyone in the community. Hoping XCN has a bullish 2026. Yes, absolutely. Going to have another video. I'm going to make another video today over on the Patreon about XCN staking, showing people kind of how to do it and stuff like that. Get that passive income up, lower your cost average on your Onyx coin at least, and a lot of the other projects we're holding by staking. We're going to talk about that today in a video over on the Patreon. Carl says, hit that like button, y'all. It's absolutely free to do, guys. Passenger says, I entered Monad at 2 cents 2. And with the video that Rob did, I'm convinced Monad to the moon. There you go. Yes, I did do a deep dive video on Monad. Check it out, guys. I think I posted it the day before yesterday. Got in at 2 cents 2. Nice. So you're up about 10%. Nice. Very nice. Jake the Snake says every gym session shall include a mandatory $15 per person DCA into Bitcoin. The reason? Long-term goals should be rewarded with long-term gains. There you go, man. I dig it, brother. I dig it. William, do you think the recent inflows from them putting money back in from tax harvesting some of it, yeah, some of it for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, people are going to exit. They're going to tax harvest, and then they're going to put their money back in, right? as close to the bottoms as they can. Trump has captured Venezuela's president. We could see some volatility in the markets on Monday. Yes, I'm going to cover that story in the stream. So absolutely. We're caught up in the chat, so let's dive into the news, guys. Let's see what's going on out there today. We are going to cover that, but for now, let's get into the first story. By the way, shout out to channel sponsor BTCC. Use our link down below, guys. Get up to $10,000 in bonuses for signing up. Check it out today, guys, and join our trading group because we utilize BTCC. Carlos says, you think when QE starts, that will make things take off? Well, technically, QE's kind of already slowly started. But here's the thing, Carlos. Anytime you have quantitative easing or money printing or rate cuts, it often takes 3 to 4 months for the economy to feel the effects of implementation of these kind of things, right? So it won't be instantaneous. It won't be instantly, but it will be inevitably. So, yeah. Junction signs a new strategic partnership with Zyra Labs. With AA gas fee abstraction at its core, the OEM white-labeled wallet, Junction wallet platform development started. We are pleased to announce that we have started joint development of wallet infrastructure, so the Jasmy's Junction Super Wallet. The partnership aims to bring the Junction wallet closer to ease of use, so they're making it user-friendly, similar to Web 2 login experiences. And that's what you need to do if you want to see success when it comes to onboarding the average retail investor. It has to be very, very user-friendly, like click and play. That's it, man, right? With an account abstraction, the gas fee abstraction at its core, this creates a conduit for users to smoothly access ecosystem functions centered around Jasmy Chain without being overly conscious of native token preparation or complex procedures. The Junction wallet is positioned as an entry point for the ecosystem participation, various dApps, community initiatives, partner initiatives, and so on. We will leverage Zyra Labs' knowledge and implementation capabilities to minimize the friction unique to Web3, such as key management, signing, execution, and gas costs, while promoting the implementation of a more intuitive and safe experience. Brand new partnership, guys, helping bring the Jasmy Junction wallets to fruition. It's coming, guys. You can do it. Put your back into it. Get over, check it out, do your research into Junction. Things are going to be big, guys. Things are going to be big. We got a story here from Crypto Chrome, little clip here. Why is your money still pending after it left your account? Zebec, baby.
Your account can be frozen, no warning, no hearing. And when that happens, you don't argue. You wait. That's not a glitch. That's the system.
Banks and card issuers can freeze accounts, reverse transactions, or lock funds. Sometimes for fraud, sometimes for review, sometimes for reasons you're never told. No timeline, no appeal. When an account freezes, access stops even if the money is yours.
And that's not evil. That's risk management. When harm is possible, the system pauses first. Proof comes before mercy. I learned what happens when proof comes too late.
But here's the cost of that pause. Bills don't pause. Rent doesn't pause. Life doesn't pause. When money can be stopped instantly, ownership becomes conditional. You don't lose your money. You lose access to it.
Here's what most humans get backwards. People think banks are safe and crypto is...
It's terrible. Anyway, yes, the point of it is, guys, that, you know, banks, when they get control of your money, man, they can freeze it any time. The same thing goes with the stable coins that they're creating, right? The stable coins that they're pushing out there, that they're going to pass legislation on and stuff. They're still going to, it's CBDCs, they're just calling it something else, right? At the end of the day. Shout out to Zebec, man, my guy. He says, told you updated tokenomics incoming along with new version of the white paper. We were talking about this in the open mic over in the VIP community last night, guys. Yes, they do have a spaces coming out on the 8th in 5 days discussing revamped tokenomics. This could be very, very exciting, guys. Buyback continues for Zebec, as it says here. In Q4 2025, Zebec bought back 43,769,974 Zebec, worth $120,000, funded by revenue from the Zebec cards, right? A strong close to 2025 as we prepare to roll out updated tokenomics in 2026. Very, very exciting stuff, guys. I'm excited about this spaces. I will be covering it here on the channel. Do not sleep on Zebec, guys. I keep saying it. I've been saying it since day one, like a year and a half ago, even when they were calling it a scam and stuff like that. I'm still saying it today, guys. There's a lot of road left for Zebec. U.S. Senator argues that vague rules will cause crypto companies to relocate overseas. Now, why is that the case? Well, because with vague rules, that is what allowed Gary Gensler to manipulate the markets the way that he did and go on the attack constantly, is because there were no rules in place telling him that technically he couldn't, right? So having vague rules in place allows someone like Gary Gensler to come back in when the Democrats are in power and start abusing said power again. Let's get into it. Senator Cynthia Lummis is advocating for lawmakers to approve the Clarity Act, which would establish clearer regulations for the industry. She argued that vague rules have long caused crypto companies to relocate overseas, noting that the proposed crypto legislation would alleviate uncertainty, establishing clearer rules. Like, companies are not going to relocate to the United States while rules are still ambiguous and vague, right? They're just not going to. It costs a lot of money to move a company all the way to another country, and they're not going to do that unless they have guardrails in place from power-abusing, money-hungry people like Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren from attacking their company and putting them out of business. They're simply not going to take that chance until we get the Clarity Act put in place, right? And this is part of the U.S. trying to be the leaders in this asset class. Insiders said that U.S. lawmakers would review the Clarity Act on January 15th. It's about 12 days from now. If the markup goes through favorably, however, it would imply that lawmakers believe the bill will have sufficient support to pass a formal committee vote. At the same time, the push for clearer crypto rules comes as the United States grapples with rapidly expanding national debt, which has climbed above $38 trillion, intensifying scrutiny of the country's long-term fiscal outlook. Raising interest costs and persistent deficits have renewed interest among policymakers and investors in alternative financial technologies that could improve market efficiency and capital formation. Speaking on the bill, Lummis urged legislators on X, quote, "Our market structure legislation changes that by establishing clearer jurisdictions, strong protections, and ensuring America leads the way. Let's get this done," end quote. In the review, legislators will be examining where DeFi aligns with federal law. They will also explore how to better distinguish between the SEC and CFTC roles in regulating digital assets. The institutional head of strategy at Coinbase says the bill is already on the path to progress and remains optimistic about the steady improvement despite frustrations from the crypto sector. He also expects the strategic bill to be passed soon. He addressed the bill's delay in an interview on CNBC, saying that since the legislation is fundamental to crypto and other real asset classes, it is only reasonable that it takes time. I agree with that, guys. Good things do take time, right? There is a strong chance that the Clarity Act will be enacted, he added, referring to growing global regulatory momentum and Spain's forward-leaning initiatives as examples. Spain has already begun passing new cryptocurrency legislation like the European Union's Markets and Crypto Asset Regulation, the MiCA, and DAC8. Also said that U.S. lawmakers might feel pressure to act swiftly as their nations ramp up their cryptocurrency efforts. He added he hopes the bill can be approved this January. He also compared the bill to the Genius Act, stating that the former is more complex than the latter, but he sees the Genius Act as a transformative, adding that the passage of the Clarity Act would be another crucial milestone in the U.S. crypto journey ahead. If the Republicans vote as a bloc, the Clarity Act would likely pass the committee level, even without Democratic support. But its eventual passage will be more contentious. After the Senate Agriculture Committee piece is merged, 60 votes will be necessary in the Senate to end debate. Hence, the importance of cross-party support. We need this to be, for sure, cross-party, right? Tim Scott, the chair of the Banking Committee, spoke to reporters ahead of the recess, saying the conversations with Democrats were fruitful and some industry players responded cautiously with optimism. If the legislation were enacted, this would create rules that regulate the digital asset market in a way that goes beyond long-term enforcement-driven regulation. So we need to get this put in place, guys, to prevent, like I said, the next Gary Gensler from coming into power and abusing said power, right? PJ, thank you so much for the first super chat of the day. He says, thinking about buying a decent wallet, can you stake XCN and Zebec? You can stake your XCN. Zebec, I'm not too certain, but you can stake your XCN from there, yes. Andy says, yes, you can. So there you go, brother. There you go. Andy, my guy, my dude, my brother from another mother. Let's keep rolling along here, guys. What else do we got? From crypto to everything. Coinbase maps its next big leap. All right. A new strategic push now sets a broader direction for the company, and Coinbase features at the center. The firm outlines plans to unify financial platforms that link several asset classes and on-chain services. The approach signals an expansion phase, and it aims to reshape how users access digital and traditional markets. So here's the top priorities for 2026 for Coinbase. Grow the everything exchange globally, crypto, equities, prediction markets, commodities across spot, futures, and options. Number 2, scale stablecoins and payments. Number 3, bring the world on chain through Coinbase Dev and Base Chain. Very, very interesting, guys. Coinbase stock might not be a bad idea, not financial advice. Shannon, what's up, man? Grateful for you, Rob, and the patience you have instilled in us. Good day. It's a good day to have a good day. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I would wait for the super app for Zebec. Yes, 100% agree with that, Andy. 100%. There should be fantastic staking opportunities on there. I agree. The company sets the target to build an everything exchange that combines multiple asset categories under one app. It plans to include crypto assets, equities, commodities, and prediction markets, and it seeks broad user reach. The firm intends to support spot, futures, and options markets where regulation allows operations. Another thing we're doing over in our VIP community, guys, moving forward, is we are going to be utilizing and investing in an roundabout way into prediction markets as well, as I do believe they will continue to boom. So if you want to be a part of that, guys, again, get over to our Patreon VIP community. Links in the chat. The roadmap highlights platform integration, and it brings separate product lines under one coordinated experience. Teams will update trading systems, improve scale, and simplify onboarding to widen participation. Coinbase positions this integration model as a way to keep activity inside a single ecosystem so you can get your stocks and get everything in one place, guys. right? Right on your descent. What do we got, Brandon? Do you think if you've already staking Zebec, they will roll it over automatically to the super app? No, you'll probably have to do that yourself, I would imagine. It depends where you're staking your Zebec, I guess. That would be a big part of it. The strategy also centers on growth in on-chain activity through the Base network and related tools. The firm promotes easier developer access and builds consumer pathways through the Base app. Another thing we've been talking about, guys, anything that's built on Base is probably going to be pretty good moving forward. Coinbase seems like it is a hand-picked winner moving forward, so we're definitely going to be getting into it. I personally don't like using their app, but that doesn't mean you can't invest in the company, right? So absolutely. Okay, what else do we have? Let's keep rolling along. Base making moves in the space. What would rather invest on, Gala or Miria? I'd probably go Miria personally. That's just me, though. That's just my bias. Crypto trading activity slumps as spot volume sinks to 2024 lows. Centralized crypto exchanges recorded a sharp slowdown in trading activity in December, with spot volumes dropping to their lowest levels in more than a year. Data shows that market participation cooled significantly as the year came to a close, reflecting a weaker moment. Well, that's not surprising. A lot of people probably just stopped spot trading because it was the holidays, right? People are busy. Finances are a little bit tighter that time of year, so it's not really that surprising. The spot trading volume on centralized exchanges fell 32% month over month to 1.13 trillion in December, down from 1.66 trillion in November and 2.23 trillion in October. This marked the weakest monthly trading volume. Yeah, like I said, it's, I'm sure the holidays played a big part in that. So that's not really shocking. Centralized exchanges followed a similar trend. DEX trading volume declined $245 billion, underscoring a broader pullback in activity across both custodial and non-custodial platforms. Despite the overall slowdown, Binance retained its dominance, processing $367.35 billion in spot trading during that month, more than any other centralized exchange. So why did it fall sharply? Analysts point to a combination of seasonal and market-driven factors behind the decline. December is typically marked by low participation as traders reduce risk exposure, lock in profits, and step back during the holiday period. That's what I said. It's like it's reading my mind. The drop in trading activity coincided with a late December market correction. Bitcoin pulled back after reaching the peak of $100,000 earlier in the month, dampening speculative momentum and reducing turnover across spot markets. Historically, declining volume during corrections often reflects caution rather than outright bearishness. While the December figures highlight a notable cooldown, they do not necessarily signal a breakdown in broader market structure. Instead, the data suggests consolidation after a strong run up in previous months. Market participants will now be watching whether trading volumes recover in early 2026 as volatility returns and new catalysts emerge. Very interesting, guys. All right. Let's get into this Donald Trump story. I know everybody is chomping at the bit and everyone's talking about this morning. I'm surprised that Bitcoin didn't really take too much of a hit this morning based on this news, but Why has been holding up strong. It's up 50% on the month. Wish I would have bought a bag when it was dead. Yeah, don't do that to yourself, though, right? Hindsight will get you every time, brother. Donald Trump says U.S. forces captured Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro in major operation. What is going on here? Donald Trump announced early Saturday that the U.S. forces have captured the president and his wife. Whoa, why were they after his wife? Damn, what'd she do? Following what he described as a large-scale military operation across Venezuela. In the post on Truth Social, Donald Trump said that Maduro, we're going to call Maduro, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and his wife were captured, flown out of the country. He categorized the mission as a coordinated strike involving U.S. military assets and law enforcement, adding that further details would be disclosed at a press conference scheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern time. So that would be right now. He's probably doing it right now. So let me jump over to X and see if there's any live going on covering it over on X. Let's see. Just bear with me here, guys, while I'm not seeing anything over on X yet. Maybe we'll cover that at the 4 p.m. Actually, no, not at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. today, we actually have Blockchain Buzz. So don't forget, guys, we do have an episode of Blockchain Buzz today, 4 p.m. Central. So maybe we'll talk about it a little bit in that episode of Blockchain Buzz. But either way, we'll cover it tonight. We got 2 more live streams to do today. So either way, we'll get into it. So let's keep going here. The announcement followed a series of pre-dawn explosions reports. Several surrounding regions. Witnesses said the blast began around 2 a.m. local time, continued for roughly 90 minutes with low-flying aircraft and helicopters observed over the capital. U.S. officials confirmed the strike on multiple military targets, including Tijuana, the country's largest military base. Airports. Additional strikes actively were reported in the state of Murata. Power outages were reported as expected, of course. Before the news that he was captured, Venezuela's authorities declared a national emergency and the state of external disturbance, ordering the mobilization of defense forces in response to what officials described as foreign aggression. Amid the ongoing military activity, the Federal Aviation Administration issued an emergency order barring U.S. commercial air carriers from operating over Venezuela's space, citing safety risks. The operation represents a sharp escalation in the Trump administration's months-long maximum pressure campaign against their government. The effort has included a naval blockade, sanctions, and earlier actions targeting alleged smuggling networks in the Caribbean. So there you go, guys. That is the news. It did not really crash markets. Bitcoin has officially turned red on the day, but it's only $89,968. Closing the week above $90,000 is what we want to see. However, closing another day above $90,000 would be super fantastic. So that's the news on that, guys. Not too bad, but it hasn't crashed markets yet, so that's good. That's good news, right? All right, so NVIDIA will remain a winner this year, says Constellation Research, Ray Wang.
All right, it's the first trading day of the year. Let's talk tech stocks and the Mag 7 with Ray Wang, Constellation Research Chairman and AI Forum co-founder. Ray, great to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So when you look at the outlooks for 2026 by the Wall Street banks, they all really come down to what they think will happen with the AI trade this year. So what's your outlook for, I know when we say AI trade, we're talking about a lot of different components of the AI trade, but what parts of that trade do you think will strengthen, and will you think that some of it could weaken this year?
Well, definitely we're going to see strong demand again for chips, and we're also going to see a bifurcation in terms of apps and software companies that are able to use AI and create what we call AI exponentials. These are companies that can grow 10x, 100x, 1000x with very minimal number of employees. We're also going to see a category of software where we're going to see applications, SaaS applications transferring themselves. And so one of the ways we looked at the market, we said, who beat the NASDAQ in 2025 and who's going to beat the NASDAQ in 2026? And we looked at some of the laggards that were not beating the NASDAQ. We had C3, Now, Apple, Meta, Oracle in that mix. And we went back to see, would they be able to survive and make it? And then we also looked at 5 other stocks that had outperformed. Could they continue the momentum? NVIDIA, Google, AMD, Intel, Palantir were 5 that we chose to be able to make that move. So you're keeping NVIDIA as one of the winners of 2026. What makes you so confident that that momentum and certainly that excitement among investors will continue? Well, the acquisition of Grok confirmed something that we all realized, was that training is about to come over the hill and inference is about to pick up. And that's where you're going to need TPUs. And that licensing deal was brilliant on all levels, from a financial engineering perspective, from a risk sharing perspective, and more importantly, allowing NVIDIA to get into the TPU market, which is the chips that allow you to do inference.
And you mentioned learning and inference. There's this view that actual gains in the LLMs has not so much come to a halt, but certainly slowed down. Is that a risk that we're seeing, if not a sort of stalling in progress, or certainly not living up to that expectation, perhaps more of a commoditization with the LLMs? And what stocks or other companies will that feed into?
Well, you're absolutely right. And this is why it's important to look at a full stack vertically integrated player like Google, where they're able to go from chip at TPU level to agent level. And what Google has is the ability, if you've looked at Gemini 3, it continuously gets better because it's got all the data sources. It's able to actually take the full one Google, put it to use, and start applying that on almost every direction, which means they've got a huge advantage because they've got the data.
And you mentioned these companies that can, use AI to start up with 1 or 2 employees and reach millions of dollars in revenues. So is that something at this point that's investable, either on the private market side or eventually in the public market side? And what kinds of companies or what areas of the market will those be successful?
They're all across the board, and that's what makes that exciting. There's a site called tinyteams.xyz, and what you can see there are companies with 10 employees doing 200 million ARR, or 20 employees doing 200 million ARR. And these are companies that are about to hit IPO next year. So you see companies like Midjourney that are there, Lovable. These are the companies that are at Cursor. These are companies that are changing the environment with few employees, massive impact, and that's on the software side.
Yeah, I'm looking at that site now, Tiny Teams. I mean, you look at this 10 million ARR, 40 million ARR. So this idea that AI can actually help a single founder create a company with instant revenues. I mean, this shows it's actually happening already.
Robert, it's happening right now. And what we predict that in the next 3 years, 1,000-person company could take out the likes of an Accenture. 100-person company could take out the likes of our big SaaS winners that are out there, because the scale is incredible right now.
Ray, I know you mentioned that you think Oracle is misunderstood, and the idea that there's been this big rethink of their huge CapEx investment strategy to become a host for a lot of these sort of AI platforms maybe is not going to pan out. You think that this is actually a fruitful pursuit for Oracle?
In the long run, yes. If you've watched all the moves Larry Ellison has made over the last 50 years, it's been incredible, right? Sometimes he waits it out, says it's not worth the investment cycle. Sometimes he jumps in. And for this one, they really believe there's a shot for them to be one of the NeoCloud winners. And if you look at the relationships at the administration level, you've never seen that tight of a relationship. And so those two factors alone, and the fact that you're seeing TikTok go to Oracle. You're going to see other organizations go to Oracle because they have a cost advantage that the current hyperscalers do not have. And in some of our clients, when we send them to Oracle, they're paying 1/5 of what they were paying Amazon, Microsoft, or Google.
It's exciting stuff for me, guys. I do like NVIDIA going into 2026 as well, so I am very, very pleased about that. I tell you what. Danny, my guy, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see ya. All right, Tom Lee, early life and net worth, the strategic chairman behind BitMine and the future of Bitcoin infrastructure. Tom Lee, the key figure at the intersection of macroeconomics, institutional finance, and Bitcoin adoption as the chairman of BitMine. I would say he's more an advocate for Ethereum adoption than Bitcoin adoption, but what do I know, right? Tom Lee brings decades of Wall Street experience to the monetary insight. A lot of people say, well, I don't like Tom Lee, and I understand that, right? But here's my case for people like Tom Lee and so on. Listen, these are people who have entire teams who make big money behind them analyzing these situations. So he's a lot smarter than I am when it comes to this stuff. So I would never sit there and go, whoa, what does he know? Because he knows more than me. So if I say, what does he know? I'm really saying, what do I know, right? But yeah, so Tom Lee brings a lot of experience to the table. He's got a whole team behind him. very, very bullish on Tom Lee and the acquisition, the accumulation of Ethereum for BitMine, guys. It makes me very, very bullish. And of course, this, guys, hacker drains hundreds of EVM wallets in wide net crypto exploit. I've been covering a new hack, it seems like, for the last 3 days in a row. There's new hack stories coming out and scams coming out, guys. It's why you want to get yourself a self-custody wallet. Do you think GPUs will skyrocket in price, like just like RAM? I can't believe the price of RAM nowadays. Yes, absolutely. RIP to all PC gamers. Hey, I'm a PC gamer, damn it. Yes, I do, brother. I do. I feel you. That could be why they're bringing games like I think they're bringing World of Warcraft to the Xbox, I think, as well. So stuff like that, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the PC games being brought over to consoles for sure. An attacker has siphoned funds from hundreds of crypto wallets across Ethereum's EVM compatible networks, draining small amounts from each address in what on-chain investigators, ZachXBT, described as a broad, low-level operation. Now, guys, this is why I keep saying, get yourself a self-custody wallet. It's the same thing that happened, guys, with the market right now, okay? I've been telling people, and other YouTubers have been telling people for a long time, don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And people roll their eyes, they don't listen, they go, yeah, right? And then what happens is the market doesn't go as anticipated, and now people are over-leveraged, and they're upset, right? Well, you invested more than, because if you didn't invest more than you could afford to lose, you wouldn't be upset right now. You wouldn't be stressed out, so you over-leveraged yourself. In saying that, similar situation when it comes to self-custody wallets. I keep saying, get yourself a decent biometric wallet today, guys. Keep your crypto safe from getting hacked and stolen from you, right? And people right now are sitting there going, yeah, whatever, until they get hacked. Do you know how many messages I get on a monthly basis from people telling me that their wallet got hacked, they fell for a phishing scam, they got scammed, their crypto's gone, and they're asking me what they can do about it? Nothing, right? There is no one that's there to help you. The point in crypto is that you are responsible for your money. There is no bank manager for you to call and say, get me my money back or anything like that, right? Keep your crypto safe. I personally keep my crypto on my self-custody wallet, my decent wallet, and I keep it in a safe in my home, right? Or you can keep it in your safety deposit box at the bank, or whatever the case might be, right? Keep your stuff safe offline from getting hacked and stolen. They got a 2-for-1 deal on the biometric wallet today. Use our link down below, get yourself your decent wallet, and keep your crypto safe. Don't just roll your eyes and go, yeah. Keep your crypto safe, right? You don't want to be that person that's messaging me next month going, hey, Rob, my crypto got scammed. I got hacked. What can I do about it? And for me to tell you nothing. Your crypto's just gone. You're screwed. Start over again, right? So keep it safe. Keep it off the internet, guys, right? Protect yourselves. Okay, going back over to the Bitcoin chart, we're back over $90,000. You'll love to see that. So, I mean, the whole Venezuela thing did not really crash crypto so far. Let's go have a look over at, let's look at other markets real quick. Did it do anything anywhere else? It didn't crash silver. Silver's still looking pretty healthy. It looks like silver is trying to put in a bit of a bull flag here, right? Kind of looks like that's what's going on. Looks like some consolidation before. I told you guys, I think, and let's see where that lines up. Let's see if I was right here, right? So it looks like we're starting to create a bit of a bull flag here on silver. And if the breakout, goes as planned, my target is between $90 and $100 for silver. Look at that. Perfect breakout, textbook, all the way up to 100K. Probably going to reject, or 100K, $100. Probably going to reject off $100 and come back down. My target down here for a great entry point would be between $50 and $55 on silver, right? But I do think we're going to have that move to the upside somewhere between $90 to $100 before we see a bigger correction in silver and it works its way down later this year. Same thing with gold and stocks. And I think that's where you're going to start to see that capital rotation into more risk on assets like the Russell and the altcoins, right? As you can see, the Russell barely made a new all-time high and then fell back below the previous high, right? We haven't seen the Russell breakout any more than we saw altcoins breakout. So, you know, there's potential there to see that breakout. We see the capital rotation into risk on assets, altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ETFs, the Russell, stuff like that later this year, right? As we see the capital, again, the liquidity flow out of gold, out of silver, out of the S&P 500, because those assets have been in a bull run for about a year and a half now, right? The music's going to stop soon, probably later this year. That's my target. So, but if we go to the SPX, we have not really seen even stocks. Nothing has really crashed because of this Venezuela news, right? So that's all really good. So anyway, guys, listen, I'll be back at 4 p.m. for Blockchain Buzz. Make sure you're here. That's 4 p.m. Central. I got to get over to the Patreon, take care of some stuff. Jump over there as well, guys. Join the VIP community today. The link is down below in the description. It's in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. Book your coaching calls. Join our group coaching calls. Join our live streams over there. Get all of our exclusive content, our trading videos, our microcap gems, and everything else. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.